This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
What's going on? I'm Arch Manning, Viore athlete and college quarterback. Whether I'm running, training, traveling, or just unwinding at home, I love doing it in my core shorts from Viore. With a breathable boxer brief liner, they're quick to dry, super versatile, and stand up to even my most intense training sessions. Plus, they come in 3 inseams and a ton of colors. Ready to try a pair? Go to viore.com/arch and get 20% off at checkout. I think you're going to love them as much as I do. That's viore.com/ARCH and get 20% off your first order. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Have a great day.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
In a world where preseason Super Bowl favorites crumble under primetime lights, where the league's most explosive offense is reduced to a whimper by a hungry Eagles front, where a quarterback's growing pains echo through the silent U.S. Bank Stadium, and where the Green Bay Packers barely escaped the Grim Reaper disguised as a 2 Giants win team. One team, one ridiculed, forgotten, quote, rebuilding team has risen from an 0-2 grave. 7 wins in 8 weeks. 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. A former Lions mastermind now tormenting his old kingdom. For the first time in 7 long years, the Chicago Bears stand alone atop the NFC North. The Lions are stunned. The Packers are relieved but rattled. The Vikings are heartbreaking once again. This is no fluke. This is chaos. This is war. 4 fan bases, 1 division, 0 mercy. In a world where nobody saw this coming, who will be king? Let the battles begin. Yes, indeed. The Bears are in first place. And welcoming my crew here today, we have Foster from Bleachers to Speakers, the Detroit Lions representative. And we have nobody from Green Bay because they're too afraid to come on the show. And we have Pay from the frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel and his first place Bears.
It's got a good ring to it.
I wondered what you thought about it.
Oh, yeah. It's been 7 years, Dave. Wow. 7 years since the Bears sat in first place by themselves. 7's a good number. Yeah. You can win in dice with 7 lucky years. But let's not wait 7 long years again. Let's make this a yearly thing.
Well, 7 wins, right?
Yeah, 7 wins, 7-3.
Wow.
It usually happens about once a decade. Same with the Lions back in the day. But it is what it is. And I can tell you the rest of the division is shocked. Shocked, I say. The word fraudulent even come up.
Wow.
That's funny. Shouldn't it shouldn't the word fraud shouldn't be coming up from a team we beat, but
Hey, we gave that one away. That was pure and simple. But we'll get into that. But first, let's go over Week 11 recaps. We'll start off with the team in the middle, the one we all love to hate, the Green Bay Packers. Storyline for this game was it was an absolute trap game for the Packers. The Packers played down to the 2-8 Giants that had just fired its head coach and was starting Jameis Winston. Looked like completely dysfunctional for 50-plus minutes. That is, the Packers did. And then they made just enough clutch plays in the final 8 minutes to escape with a win that felt more like a loss in the locker room. Did either of you guys catch any highlights from that game? Or lowlights?
I caught the horrible Harlem Shake that Jameis Winston tried to pull off. That's about what I got out of that, but not too much of the game. Go ahead, Bay.
No, I had, usually on the quad box when I'm watching stuff on Sunday, I try to have some of our upcoming opponents up there just so I can get a little bit of a read. That's how I was zeroing in on Mr. JJ before our match there, Dave. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was watching this game from the Packers, and the Giants had a late lead, and I don't think you can push it away. It's like, Jordan Love had to lead the game for a minute. Jacobs, he left the game, didn't come back, and he might be missing some time. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can dismiss the Giants in just that way, just because it was just injuries for the Packers. No, I think the Packers are trash.
Oh, they did play for 3.5 quarters some absolutely sloppy, uninspired, and borderline incompetent football. I'll give you that.
And when is Toyota-thon? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here, because Jordan Love, when it's not Toyota-thon, they should be looking for another quarterback on them during those months. His performance in that game and his performance for the last few weeks, he throws some really, really bad passes. It's a lot of the interceptions he has this season, head scratching.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, though, that'll change. Well, hopefully it won't change this weekend, and we can go up there and demolish them. But we'll get to that.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Now, that was the Green Bay Packers pulling it out at the end to defeat the New York Giants.
Oh.
It happens, folks. But they dropped a third in the division. Or second. They went to second in the division. Why? Because the team that was in tied for first and could have been better lost as well. Foster, you want to tell us about your game?
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty performance. We had played on Sunday night, and the weather wasn't great, and it just appeared that the Lions were ill-equipped for those type of elements. Obviously, we're kind of known to be, better in more opportune weather and in a dome setting. And yeah, it turned out to be a field possession game, and the Eagles took just more advantage of that. They were able to convert on 3 field goals. The Lions elected to go for it on 4th down a lot more. We went 3 for 13 on 3rd down, and we're 0 for 5 on 4th down, including a fake punt where I think the Eagles kept their starters out there. So they were pretty prepared for in the event that we did try to go for it. And so, yeah, we had a couple batted balls, one that resulted in a interception, and the defense did a good job. They were put in some pretty bad situations with the interceptions and the 4th down situation. So they kind of held up to their end of the bargain. They only gave up 16 points the entire game, and neither quarterback really played well. Goff only completed 37% of his passes, 14 of 37, one touchdown.
McCarthy had better passing rates.
Yeah. I didn't think, after watching that game earlier, I didn't think it could, a quarterback performance could be much worse. But Jared Goff said, "Hold my beer. I got one better for you." Obviously, him playing quarterback in gloves is not his forte. But yeah, the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, were pretty dominant. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and the trade acquisition, Jalen Phillips, they all were a major factor in the game. And, of course, the Lions faithful is like, that maybe an acquisition at the trade deadline would have been nice. They're watching the results of what Mr. Phillips was able to, bring to the table. But towards the end of the game, there was some controversy. Of course, there was a kind of a phantom pass interference call, which I think across the league, everybody could pretty much say was pretty tic-tacky. Some say that it might have even been offensive pass interference. But we left a lot of opportunities on the table. The most concerning to me was the Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is obviously one of Goff's most favorite targets. They only converted 2 of the 12 targets. A lot of those targets were on those 4th downs where I don't know if it's the play calling, but as soon as the ball left Goff's hands, it's like it didn't even look feasible that the pass will be completed. So it's leaving a lot of Lions fans pointing fingers at, is Goff the guy that can take us to the promised land? Who can, make the calls? Is that Sam Laporta absence a bigger issue than we thought it might be? I mean, me personally, I thought, okay, well, we still got a lot of weapons. We got more opportunities for Jamison Williams, who did have a pretty good game, and Gibbs had a not via the run, but in the passing game, he found a way to get loose a couple of times. So that was good. But Isaac Tesla continues to be pretty absent. And 10 errant targets to Amon-Ra St. Brown is something that you did not expect to see. And he even dropped a couple questionable passes as well. So we got some work to clean up, and we certainly need to handle our, the Eagles was a measuring stick for us. And, they are coming off a Super Bowl, and we now know that we are likely a tier below that. We gotta change some things around, and it's very important that we get it. It just showed how important home field advantage is for us, which I'll talk about a little bit later as far as the weather and things of that nature. But they were able to kick field goals, and we were going for it on 4th down and not converting. So that ended up being the deciding factor.
I heard Man Campbell even apologize for some of his failed play calls.
It wasn't great. And with him alleviating John Morton of those, of that role, he put even more pressure on himself to get the job done. Everybody was singing high praises, and we were all, having a good old time at the way we did the Commanders. But now that we're facing the NFL, NFC elite,
it gets tougher.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It gets tougher this time of year. People are
party's over.
Have identified themselves and how they want to play, and things are starting to lock in officially for the season. Well, better luck next time, I guess. And I think Laporta being out is big for you guys.
Yep.
So
we love our tight ends.
Now it's
pause.
Now it's to the only interdivision game we had last week. The Chicago Bears traveled to U.S. Bank Stadium and obviously won. I've already said that at the beginning. Pay, what's your story on this game? And then I'll give mine.
They didn't just win. They had no business. That's what happened. Now they didn't do it. They didn't do it in a fashion that I would have appreciated. Not that even in a fashion that I would have predicted. In our preview of the game, we called out some issues with the Vikings being able to cover tight ends. We called out the Vikings special teams miscues. We called out the quarterback being missing targets every other throw. And with that, I thought that the Bears would be able to actually win a game without, me having to go do some deep breaths outside and with some, get some air, right? Didn't happen. We still had to take it all the way down to 50 seconds left before we, before the win was in clear vision. That part I didn't enjoy. However, a win is a win, and I'm not going to apologize for that, though, Dave. I'll cede it to you.
No, I'm seeing a lot of your fans say they've had enough with this cardiac team because it's coming down to the last second every last time for you guys to win. Now, I thought it was, for us, a tale of 3/4 of the game and then the comeback at the end, where suddenly everything seems to work. It was, obviously, we went up ahead first. Then you guys came back, and it was a relatively slow game most of the game. You guys led most of it, all up until the fourth quarter when we went to a tempo offense. And with that tempo offense, J. McCarthy didn't have to think so much. And he settled down, and he made completion after completion after completion, versus before when he would, every other pass or every third pass, he'd sail it over the receiver or throw it behind them or whatever he was doing, be off target. His feet were constantly dancing. His stance was too wide. There's all sorts of mechanical issues. But he came back, and we drove the field, and we took the lead. But we left 50 seconds on the clock. And instead of our special teams coach opting to blast it through the end zone and having our defense make sure they stop you, no. He kicked off to one of the best returners in the business this year. and it was returned for 54 yards. Had all that time. Now, the whole idea of not blasting it through the end zone was, well, they would only need 20 yards to get in the field goal range for 20 or 30, and they could have done that in 50. Nope. They gave it to them all at once.
Hey, yo.
And then you guys just ran it down the clock to 0, or just shy of 0. Santos came in, did not miss this one. And you guys won. 1917. It was heartbreaker for us, the fact that we couldn't sweep you, that you won in our house. But we played so poorly. Absolutely so poorly, especially on offense. It was bad. We had Justin Jefferson dropping footballs, Jordan Addison dropping footballs, TJ Hawkinson dropping footballs. Those guys are supposed to be the ones that help J.J. McCarthy mature. And I'm talking, they drop footballs. They hit their hands, and they drop footballs. Now, we've got fans saying, well, he throws it too hard. No. Yeah, he does, but that's not the reason a wide receiver, Pro Bowl wide receivers, Pro Bowl tight end, Pro Bowl wide receiver, they should catch those. They didn't. We even had the run game going. It was efficient. Well over 5 yards per carry with both backs. Do you think we could stick out the win in an ugly win? Nope. So the Minnesota Vikings dropped to 4-6 and have a 2-point-something% chance of making the playoffs and are last in the division. And they made the Bears first in the division. Once a decade, brother. Once a decade.
Math needs a little bit more math, but, we'll take it.
Oh, it's been a rough week in Minnesota. So, Broski Bear says the difference in the game was 2 turnovers. Lucky it was only 2 turnovers. Yes. J.J. McCarthy's 2 interceptions.
And those 2 interceptions came on first down, if I'm not mistaken, too.
They may have.
The one to Kevin Byard, I think Kevin Byard just, he's a vet. He tracked him, so I don't think that was I don't blame McCarthy for that first interception he threw to Kevin Byard. It's a little underthrown, but those tend to happen. The second one, brutal, terrible.
It was. So I've been in a pissy mood all week. But I hope I cheered you up today.
Oh, yeah, you definitely cheered me up, Dave. Yeah, I love the cadence in which you gave all the Bears their flowers. First place and all this other, Bears then stumble over themselves. The cadence in which you spoke, oh, my God, it made me too messy, Dave, too messy with glee. It was very difficult to keep this table from rising. Just FYI, but I enjoyed it. Thank you for cheering me up.
Okay. All right. Right now it is time to take a break. Maybe get some Garrett's popcorn so we can earn a little bit of money and I can keep myself in whiskey because Lord knows the Vikings make me drink. And we'll be right back. And we're back. All right. There was week 12 or week 11 games in review. We've already celebrated the Chicago Bears being first in the NFC North We're going to see if that lasts till the end of the season, but we'll see. Now it's on to Week 12. In the first game on the docket, we all play Sunday at noon Central, 1 Eastern. First game on the docket is the Pittsburgh Steelers at Chicago Bears. Does Aaron Rodgers play, and does he still own Soldier Field?
Emphatically no. And if he pull his skirt down and don't play B, we can prove it to him come Sunday. Yeah, I'm talking directly to you, Aaron Rodgers. We want the old man to come on out there. Come on out to play. We're doing just like the Warriors back in the 70s. You're clanging them bottles together. Come out here to see us. We want our lick back. Come see us.
Play. Great movie. Absolutely
one of my
great
favorites.
Movie. Way before your time, Foster. Broski Bear asked what I'm sipping on. Damn near the last of my Ide and Stills Irish. Been busy today. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough week. But, all right, so you think the Bears are going to handle the AFC North leaders, Pittsburgh Steelers, with ease?
Leaders? Wow. Ease? The Bears don't do anything with ease, Dave. Even when I say it's supposed to be easy, they tend to leave a lot to be desired in that category. Let me tell you about the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. Their offense leaves a lot to be desired as well. Aaron Rodgers, I don't even think he averages 200 yards yet. But I had to look at the numbers. I haven't really got into the preview portion of the week yet. But I do know this. That man looked washed. He doesn't look – they signed him to be an MVP, Aaron. He's far from that. They're getting the Jets, Aaron, right now. They're getting the worst version of this part of the Brett Favre's career, right? And I love that for him. I love that for the Bears' chances come Sunday. The defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers is not a typical Pittsburgh Steelers defense either. I don't think their defense is all that great. I think the Bears have an excellent shot to go ahead and continue the good vibes, continue putting wins up. First stop Pittsburgh in the Pennsylvania tour come Sunday. Now, if Aaron does tuck tail and duck the Bears so we can't get that lick back, okay, that's fine. We just take it out on Mason Rudolph. He used to get hit in the head, getting hit over the head with helmets, right? Or was that Duck Hodges? I don't remember. One of them Steelers quarterback. Whoever line up under center, we put them in the dirt. We're going to put them in the dirt, and then we're going to put them in the blunt.
The line opened up 1.5. Bears favored, but once Rodgers' uncertainty, it's gone to you're favored by 3, home field advantage.
Now, even with all the bravado and confidence that I have, again, still, the Bears don't make stuff easy. I still need to see more from my quarterback. I need to see him start to be a little bit more consistent. The franchise quarterback needs to play better. There was no excuse for him to have like numbers like J.J. McCarthy last week. Some of the drops, the drops happen, but some of the passes, we've been talking about this since the first time the Bears played the Vikings. Passes too high. He's leading receivers too much. Things of that nature. That part of it just needs to get together. Everything else though, Dave, I don't have an issue. His command of the offense, the defense. The defense is what it is. Defense is just bad. We got too many guys out. Too many high profile defenders are out. Maybe getting one back this week, maybe, fingers crossed. Well, maybe, I don't know. Fingers crossed on maybe Jalen Johnson be back this week or in the near future. Kyler Gordon is supposed to be back from IR this week. We haven't heard that he's been activated or his practice window has been opened up, but everything that Ben Johnson told us ever since he was put on the IR is that Kyler is not an extensive injury, and he should be back when he's supposed to be back. That's this week. We need to see Kyler back soon. Well, we cannot continue to play these games with Nashawn, Blackwell, McLeod, and all the rest. We are the herd is thin enough, and we're getting out of these games with smoke and mirrors. And I think we can go a long way with getting some of these defenders back. TJ Edwards, like I said, Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. Get some of those guys back. We can start actually envisioning a clear path to doing some real damage come December and January. But first things first. We owe the Steelers a little bit of smoke.
Well, we had our Edge 3, Dallas Turner, the young second-year player, have a standout day last week because he was going against Benedict. You're never going to get that left tackle fixed, are you?
Well, Benedict is an undrafted guy from Canada, the Canadian Eagle. He is not supposed to be out there, Dave. The guy who came into camp, number 1 on the depth chart, Braxton Jones, he's on IR right now. But then again, Braxton Jones is not supposed to be anybody's starting left tackle either. He's a 5th-round draft pick. I would assume that no matter how the season ends for the Bears, I would assume left tackle, if the chips fall where they may. I mean, if the chips fall where they happen, you may not – a left tackle may not be available to us whenever we draft. But I would assume that is high on the shopping on the shopping list when the offseason does open up in late February, whether that's in the draft or in free agency. You don't usually see free agent left tackles, at least good ones. So I wouldn't expect that to happen. But we definitely need an upgrade there, Dave. You called that right. Dallas Turner should not have been whooping anybody to the extent that Theo was getting whooped. But luckily for us,
Dallas Turner basically only has one move, and it's speed to power. Mm-hmm. And he was whooping Benedict.
Canada's. It looks like they're trying to get us back for some of them tariffs, but I need a little bit more out of you, Theo. I need a little bit more.
Well, we'll see. The Steelers tend not to do well on the road, and they are playing in your house. Has the snow melted in Chicago?
Yeah, the snow. It snowed early last week, right?
Well, I heard it a couple days ago. You guys had thunder snow, which I've been lucky enough to see.
Thunder snow. The Midwest weather is funny. But no, it was last weekend. Chicago had 60, 70 degree weather. It's no snow out there. It's just regular late fall weather now. Perfect football weather for Chicago versus Pittsburgh.
It should be. Then we have the New York Giants, who should have beat the Packers, going to Detroit. Does Detroit get better in this game, Foster?
Yeah, I think this has all the makings of a get-right game. It mirrors to the Commanders a little bit in that game we had, as far as them being injury-riddled and having some key pieces out offensively. They're a team that has struggled defensively all year. And, we're 3-1 at home. We don't really do the losing streak thing. So, I expect this to get back going. Obviously, depending on whether or not Jackson Dart passes concussion protocol, that'll impact, how we prepare. But, we know he's a dual threat quarterback that likes to run. And I think their running game is kind of the basis of what they like to establish. They were able to run pretty good against the Packers. They had over 100 yards rushing. And despite the fact that Scatterbo is out, they still have a pretty decent running tandem of Tyrone something. And Devin Singletary. So,
Tyrone
limited.
Tracy.
Tracy, that's what it was. I want to say Taylor. Yeah, Tracy. Limiting their ability to run the ball, whether it's through their quarterback with Jackson Dart or with their running backs, is going to be a big part of that game. And although the defense has struggled all year, they do have some pretty talented defensive linemen, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence. They haven't got to the quarterback as well as they have in past years, but we haven't protected quite to the level as we did last year. So always something that we have to factor into the game. But I think that with all the recipe of us coming back home, being back in the dome, I think that it's going to make for a better opportunity for us to win the game. And luckily, the next 7 games, we will actually be playing in a dome, whether it's against the Rams, against the next 7 games are in a dome. The last game, of course, we are not. That'll be in Chicago against the Bears. So obviously that will be outside, probably in that snow we spoke of earlier. Unfortunately. Oh, and we did activate this week. We had to make a decision on Malcolm Rodriguez. His window has been open for 3 weeks, and he is returning. He was a full participant in practice, but Terrion Arnold, who was out last week, still isn't practicing. Kirby Joseph still isn't practicing, and Brian Branch, who played in the game last week, did not participate in practice with a toe injury. I don't know how serious that is, but that's a lot of defensive players. The defense played great. The defense as a whole played great last week. So I'm not too worried about that, but I would like to see these guys get healthy.
Gotcha. By the way, you are 10.5 to 11.5 point favorites to win this game at home.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. That's a huge amount. So we'll see. I expect you guys will win because you're at home and in a dome, and you guys play better in a dome. Just like I'd like to say we do, but that's not the case this year. All right. Speaking of we being the Minnesota Vikings, we travel up to the Green Bay Packers, or over to the Green Bay Packers.
FGB.
FGB. It's FTP. It's a divisional rivalry, obviously. Playoff implications. The Packers are 6-3-1. If they lose again, they drop, and we win. We keep our playoff hopes barely alive. It's going to be another classic border battle of Lambeau. Packers are favored, but not by much. They're favored by 6 to 6.5, which I think is a joke, but okay. They're injury riddled. We're going to find out. Running back Josh Jacobs has a knee contusion. We probably won't find out until Friday whether he's even got a chance to play. Now, there's no supposed damage other than it's a contusion, which means a deep bruise. There's no ligament damage or anything like that, so he won't need surgery. The Packers have ongoing receiver issues. And Jordan Love excels against the blitz. Well, sometimes. But we'll find out if he can do that against Brian Flores. We swept him both times last year. Hopefully we'll do that the same this year. This is our first of the 2 matchups. And we'll find out. We play them week 18 in our house to end the season. Hopefully it will be for a playoff berth, but we will see. Packers fans are saying Love owns Flores. Okay, that's why you went 0-2 last year. And I think it was
yikes.
Lost the year before too? No, I don't think so. They're hoping for Lambo magic. That's what they're hoping for. That's probably to not get blackout drunk before the kickoff so they can watch their team lose. But we'll see. But our game is on Fox. Most of Fox National will have it, except for from about Detroit eastward, we'll have the Lions and the Giants. Pay your games on CBS. Hosting the Steelers. Always cross. Never.
Yeah. AFC teams got to play on CBS. That's not my fave. Go ahead and hurry up and win that game real fast. We get back to Fox where we belong.
But I can't wait. It's another game over free air TV, which makes me wonder why I buy Sunday ticket. But when I only have to watch it like 6 games of the year. But that's coming into this season. We'll probably get a lot of less TV time next year. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You see, Dave, you spoke too loudly. All your, 6,000, 7,000 followers, one of them snitching to the NFL right now. Like, hey, you gotta plug up that hole.
But it is what it is. So, I'm assuming, Pay, you think your team's going to win this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Water gun to my head, Death Star, death ray pointed at the earth. Who do I think is going to pull this game out on Sunday? Chicago Bears. Caleb all the way.
Foster and his Lions. You think they're going to have it in the bag?
I do believe so.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for the upset of upsets. I can't wait. I can't wait for J.J. McCarthy, who says he's really, really close to figuring everything out. And he has improved. There are signs of improvement. And there are flashes of absolute brilliance. If he pulls it all together, Packers don't stand a chance. But we'll see.
They suck.
They do. They do.
They lost to the Panthers.
They almost lost to the Giants.
Yeah, they did. They did almost lose to the Giants. Well, I mean, let me not do too much on the Panthers. They do have a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, maybe the Panthers are actually good. You know what? Let's not go too far. Let's just stay let's stay at home base. Packers are weak.
Heck, they tied with the Cowboys.
Seriously.
But
the 3-5 Cowboys.
With one of the better offenses. If only they had a good defensive rusher. Any last words there, Pay?
The only thing we want to say here, Dave, is from sitting at the top of the mountain, air smells good up here, by the way. I'll let you all. I'm happy you all kept it clean while you all were sitting up at the top. You all, I like it. You all good housekeeping. Good housekeeping. I hope you feel the same how the Bears kept the basement. The only thing we have to say up here, bear down.
What shows have you got coming up, and where can they find you?
So later on tonight, we have Pay Dirt, our weekly football parlay builder, where we just talk about some little sports gambling, making a little money for the holiday season. Later on in this week, we have our preview of our matchup coming up with the Steelers. We also have a cross show with head honcho of Fans First Sports Network, Jeff Hartman. We had a cross show with that, so that will be posting at some point Saturday. So be on the lookout with that. All those guys who talk a lot about the Steelers, very informative group of guys. Yeah, so that's what you got coming up on the rest of this weekend. Really good stuff. It's not a waste of time. It is always a fun time when you check out the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Available anywhere you get pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, and all the rest. And everything is also available free of charge at YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Foster, you got any last words you want to part before you go in and win this Sunday?
I just got to bounce back. That was, Sunday night was not fun. And we need to get need to get some consistency. We need to have a couple consecutive games of success as opposed to having to do all this recovery. So hopefully I think that we're set up as far as the venues. We're set up for a nice stretch down the what do you call that? The home stretch, down the home stretch.
Okay. Now, what have you got coming up on your channel, and where can people find you?
You can find us at Bleachers to Speakers. We will have a preview to the game against the Giants probably on Saturday morning, and then we will be bringing you a post game as soon as it's over, around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Very, very good. Now, all my fans, the ones that are watching, know where to find us. We are at Vikings First and Skull. You're obviously here. So it's you know where we can be found. You can find all our shows on our podcast feeds as well. Podcasts you can get anywhere you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify, yada, yada, bada bing, bada boom. Tonight, we have X's and Skulls with Locked On Vikings Luke Braun and Tyler Fornes. They're going to go over the game film from last week, and we're going to highlight Dallas Turner, Jalen Redmond. We're going to talk about what's wrong with J.J. McCarthy, Josh Metellus, and T.J. Hawkinson. Just to name a few. Tomorrow night we have the Real Forno Show as he previews the game against the team from Wisconsin. And then we have two old bloggers on Saturday as we wrap up and do our long-form style of what's happened this week, and we look at the game with the inside and the numbers, and Drew Bunting joining us for that. There you can always find us. So, hey, what do they say in Chicago?
Bear down.
The Bears.
Foster, what do they say in Detroit? Ah, come on. And, of course, in Minnesota, we say, Skull Vikings. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been a frustrated Chicago sports fans, Bleachers to Speakers, Vikings First and Skull, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.